It's illegal to use legal name, read and share the BCCRSS. This is the last 2 pages of Jack and Jill Climb a Different Hill by Kate of Kaia. Chapter 2, continued from the 4th essay of the Atlantean Halloween series. So the 24-minute and 4-second that came before this one, this is the last 2 pages. The day was bright and clear again, where they had once been lost in the fog of horror like some proverbial Hansel and Gretel, where Jill... Oh, let me start this over. It's illegal to use legal name, read and share the BCCRSS. ID is illegal. Birth certificate fraud, clausula ribis extantibus. The day was bright and clear again, where they had once been lost in the fog of horror, like some proverbial Hansel and Gretel, where Jill was the one who found the breadcrumbs of truth and retraced her steps all the way back home and simply yelled, "Hey guys, over here!" And those of us that heard her saw that we didn't have a choice. And you need to go to cateofgaia.wordpress.com and print this out and then read along silently while I read this to you, so you can see and kind of hear how it sounded out as you read and all that, because it's spelled in such a way. Hey guys, over here. And those of us that heard her saw that we didn't have a choice either, where the choice at that point was only hell. Jack has always had Jill's back from day one, so he knew her better than anyone else. And there's one thing he knows: Jill's right, so he pays very close attention to everything she says and does. Jill knew this beast called Babylon and the satanic merchants that serve everything evil and dark. She knew that if you played in the arena with this many-headed beast, all you could do was cut off one head here and there, but another lawyer or freeman wannabe lawyer always grew back in its place. She knew that to slay this dragon, you had to go for its heart, to kill that beast from her reality once and for all, literally. Jill found the magic key and the vorpal sword that lay the Gabber walkie-talkies, and she knew that it's up to each and every one of us to pick up that same sword for ourselves, where all she had was faith and a true heart to wield it, and everyone telling her she was wrong. "You know, Jill," says Jack, "I often wondered what I'd do without you." Jill looked at him square in the eyes and quietly said, "Jack, it's more about what I'd do without you, and I wasn't willing to lose my bet her half is all, where this world has us lonely enough as it is. At least I have one friend I can always trust, and the truth is, if I can't trust my own dear Jack, how could I ever trust one of those Union Jacks, where all they can do is hijack humanity, where hijack is my preferred form of hijacking anything," she said with a solemn chuckle. "Your heart has to be in the right place, not in the right's place, Jack, and this little quest we're on was for me to show you that where you could show me my own purpose in creation. There's no point in creating anything if it's just going to kill itself in this world, and this world is the last world, with the remnants of the broken ID dolls getting their last chance to change their minds, and only a true heart has the power to override that," Jack ascertained. "No, Jack, we have this road now, and those that choose the heart will eventually find us, and the others that joined us on this path, I'm going to remind you, you're not some savior. You're just a messenger with the truth that saves your eternal soul. Truth is the savior, where truth seeks life and lies seek death." Jack, rather sullen at this point, has been pondering deeply everything she's telling him. He's getting the idea now that it wasn't Jill or himself the Valley people were condemning. It was the fact that they were too busy having a good time at the expense of all life, and that he and Jill were just an easy and nearby target to spit on and to blame for them being exposed in their own greeds and lusts. The truth to them meant that their party was over, and they're not quite ready to leave Satan's world behind. They both continued walking in a quiet solace, taking in the views of this new world opening up for them. The higher they climbed Jacob's ladder to the truth and stopped sliding down all the snakes in life's games of temptation. It's been quite a day, quite a way to get here, smiled Jack, as new realizations and new changes were coming into view, where life was finally making some sense to him. Jill could only smile at him in a reassuring way, in the old "sure, didn't I tell you" grin. that rarely had time to leave her face. The only difference between you and I, Jack, and many others now, is we're tired of watching Rome burn life in the illusion of some grand circus or party while humanity runs headlong into its final doom. Where we had enough and put down all the party favors and got serious about life and its greater meaning, replied Jill as she pointed to a great spot for camping out for the night. It was a great little spot under the stars that were closer now than ever before, and they headed off the trail for another day, just not too far, just far enough to catch their collective breaths and get rested for another day in the adventure of life, where death, the old devil, could never move them off their path home ever again. We'll talk about the crazy zombies that are too busy partying in this hell, here called Rome, being the bow of Satan's orchestra. We sing a different song now, Jack. Let's get that tent set up. It looks like there are others coming up the path, so let's get this camp set up so they have no doubt where to pitch their tents, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have a little sing-song of our own tonight around a different kind of fire. What you think? Jack was already unpacking. He had a different energy these days. He was finally, for the first time in his life, alive, and the best part was he knew why, and he was grateful. They had just finished setting up when the first of the weary travelers arrived at their new base camp for the night. One by one, they were greeted as they dropped whatever measly belongings they had left, since this path forces one to travel light in every way. The table was set, and as always, there were extra places at the table, but this time there were fewer places empty and more smiles as everyone shared their adventures of the road. One by one, the valley people had embarked on the same road because they heard the same message finally, and it was so nice to see so many familiar faces at the table this night. The air was delectably mild, with a baby bear perfect hint of just right, as everyone settled down around the fire for the first time in a long time. Jack had the final say when he looked Jill square in the eyes and said, "You were right, Jill. Tomorrow is always going to be an even better day when you make the today you have better than the one you had, and just keep doing that." And all Jill could do was smile and say, "Clever boy, Jack, clever boy. Now get me some more firewood. It looks like it might be a late one tonight. The music is calling. To be continued. Kate."